Hey, welcome back. Oh, funky tune, this one. Wednesday night, 15th of April. Bit of a late one, sorry guys. I decided I needed some exit. I needed to get out of the house today. After finally getting the new video up and running. Oh, that stinks, that hat. That can go up there tonight. Sorry about that. I had to get out of the house. Some late nights getting that the Mundy regional park video together for you last night, finishing that off and getting the thumbnail done first thing this morning. I needed to get away from brick walls and computers and just de-stress, I guess. It's probably the best thing. I needed a bit of exercise, so I decided I was going to go for a walk. So I just chucked some stuff in my photo bag, grabbed some gear, took my new tripod, which I've got to say was super mega light. Super stoked about that. Used it only a couple of times. Did a lot of free shooting today. I didn't want to stand still and do too much. I think I only took a couple of those. I did a lot of just free form, just running and gunning, and a couple of little macro ones as well on the fly. And just at the botanical gardens, I thought, fresh air, open space. We're into our semi sort of a fall, I guess you call it. We don't really have a defined 4 seasons here. It's more of a winter and summer. It's not, you don't really get those 4. Darwin, you don't even get winter. But it was, so it's sort of our 4. There's a little bit of change in colour I've noticed in the trees. So I thought I'd just shoot in there, go for a walk, get some exercise, de-stress, switch off, and just see if there's some nice plants around. I can get some nice photos and stuff like that, and just keep practicing the art form, and that's what it's all about. And there was a lot of people just sitting around having picnics. I don't know how that's exercise, but I didn't say. I just did my own thing and went for a walk. There's some beautiful walks in the Botanic Gardens in Perth. It's a lot of bushland, a lot where you can just go and you can be by yourself if you just need to get out of your own head and not have any noise whatsoever. It's a great place to just go and switch off and not be with anyone. Within Kui, I think I've seen about 4 people walk past me in the whole hour and a half, 2 hours I was there. So it's pretty good in that regard. So I've got some video stuff on it. So I had a bit of a chat. I don't think it's going to be a moose video, but I've got a couple of nice photos. There were some little funky flowers and bits and pieces floating around, so that should be pretty cool. We'll see how the photos come when I get to it. Got to get into the next video, which will be, I'm excited about this one. This will be the Whiteman Park Astro. I put a fair bit of work into that one, and I'm pretty excited about seeing that. I'll probably start just on the photos tonight to have a quick gander and suss it out. I'm not going to spend a late one tonight, but I'll do a quick just overview, get them in the Lightroom, start sort of doing the prep stuff to get planned for getting that bad girl together. So I'm excited about that one. It's going to be a big video. I'm really happy how the Mundy Park video turned out. If you haven't seen it already, shoot across. It'll be at the end of this one. You'll be able to go to the link. I'll make sure it's in there. Go check it out. Some nice little waterfalls. It was just after rain. I did like 6 Ks walking. So it was really cool in that respect. It's a decent sort of an incline. So it was really good to burn off a little bit of that, and I could have probably used a bit more hills today. That was the only thing. I needed a little bit more exercise after Easter, a little bit too much chocolate, but that's all good. Exercise is exercise, and you don't have to run. A walk is basically as good as run. You might get an extra 100 kilojoules out of it, so it's really not that much beneficial, I've found. But yeah, that was a good day. Good day for all. So the new video's up there, Monday. Go check that out. That's pretty cool. Now, we've got a little bit of stuff to talk about. There is one new tech release, a big one today, and it was all over YouTube. All the big boys had been all just handballed a heap of these to test. It's the new OnePlus phones. There's the OnePlus Pro and the OnePlus 8, Pro 8 and 8 dropped today. The Pro 8 is the one that we're all pretty much into. Definitely up in the top echelon of mobile phones. If you're a OnePlus user or you're looking for a new phone, as always, go check this out. It's definitely worth a look. Some top tier specs, and it's around about, I think, the 990 US mark. So it's probably 200, 300 bucks cheaper than the Samsung US dollars. So I think that'll probably translate to about 500 bucks cheaper to Australian. So that's a pretty good deal. I think that's about probably around the 18 to 1900 Australian mark, whereas the Samsung Fold, I think, is I think that's around the $2,500 mark. So here, so yeah, definitely it's not at that price range, but you're going to get the same thing. 12 gigabyte of RAM, 256 gig of storage, USB-C. This has the fast charge over Wi-Fi, so it'll do 50% charge in 30 minutes on a Wi-Fi. So that's just chuck it on the plate, bang, no cords in it, you'll get 50% charge in 30 minutes. That's pretty darn cool. It's got in-display fingerprint as well as face unlock, so that's pretty cool. Uses both technologies. Has the warp charger on the power brick. This gives you 50% in 23 minutes, so it's only 7 minutes faster than the Wi-Fi. So you do get the power brick with the phone, but you don't get the Wi-Fi unit with the phone. So I'd suggest it's probably, unless you really can't be bothered plugging on the phone, you're pretty much going to get exactly the same sort of thing out of the Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi would be good if you want to charge something else, like another device that uses Qi charging. So yeah, it's a 4500 milliamp battery, so not too bad in that. It's Gorilla Glass, so cool. The colors are pretty darn awesome. There's beautiful colors on them if you don't use cases as such. So if you just use them straight out of the bag, there are some really nice colors. If you put a case on, well, colors are a waste of time, so you don't have to worry about the colors. It does have the 865 Snapdragon in it, the 5G version, so that's super, super good. That means you're getting the top processor. This phone is going to do everything you're going to want. 6.7 inch size, and the new essential in phones, 120 hertz screen refresh rate. So that's super, super fast when you're flicking up and down. And that seems to be the new normal in phones. I don't think if you're getting anything under 120 hertz now, you're second tier and you're just not with the cool kids. But yeah, look, good looking phone, definitely a good looking phone. Obviously it doesn't run the standard Android, it runs its own Oxygen OS, which is basically based on the newest Android. But yeah, so I guess basically an Android phone. So if you're into Android and you're not into iOS market, this could be a good one to check out. Get you a couple $100 cheaper than the Samsung version of similar sort of spec. Now Gfuel, which I do love, but I just can't bring myself to ordering any more because it's just way too expensive. They've released a new flavour and it's crushing me because it's Bublegum. Awesome flavour. I know it's going to taste good. They do awesome flavours. They're sugar free, and I love the fact that they do that, but the freight to Australia just smashes you. Even when the last couple of purchases I've got buy one get one free, so you basically getting two for the price of one, and it still works out at $2.50 a shot. So that's the same price as a Red Bull. And then you've got to pre-order it, so you got to order and you've got to wait just to get it on a buy one get one free. You've got to buy like 3 months worth just so you can get to the next buy one get one free sale. So they really need to do that. They're big enough now. They need to expand and get into the countries and bring that cost down, because the shipping just kills you. Whatever it costs you for the items, it'll cost you the same in freight. So it's just a disaster in that regard. So I just can't. And even there's an Australian version out, and they charge the same price as what the Gfuel would cost with shipping on. It's like they worked out, well, we know we've only got to just be a little bit cheaper than Gfuel, and people will buy it off us because they don't have to pay freight. But man, it doesn't cost anywhere near that much to make it. So I think I might have to make my own energy drink company. I think that might be the go. If you're in Australia, you know how to make that stuff, God, get out and do it. Come and sponsor me, I'll drink it. It's just as long as it's sugar free and tastes good. Right, MasterChef, if you haven't seen that, that started up this week. New season, all the old judges, so George, Matt and Gary have gone after 10 years. Very much a shame. I did enjoy watching those three. They're a good thing. And the way I look at it, it is very similar to Top Gear. Top Gear, as soon as the boys left, Top Gear basically went from the biggest show on the planet to a is it even still going show. So that's the difference, having the right judges and that charisma, those three people, that their charismas all work together. That's the difference it makes in making a show. The show's not about the cars. The show was always about Clarkson, James, and Hammond. Nearly forgot. But yeah, and the same here. It's very weird, and I think not just the judges, because the new judges I've never heard of. One I think I remember him being a contestant, but the others I've never heard of. Because unless you're into that game, you're not going to really know them. And I guess I probably only really knew of George before it all started with MasterChef, but I sort of you know all of them now after 10 years. But I think the biggest problem I have with it is the fact that they have old contestants, and a lot of these guys have their own TV shows, own restaurants, have finished a apprenticeship as a chef. So they've had all the training and everything, and they're coming back and they have given them the ability to win the same plate and be crowned a MasterChef. That I don't agree with. And it's got a bit of a sour taste in my mouth. The fact that, and my sister was on it, so it's sort of, and I look at it that, you go from being an amateur and you bust your ass and you learn as much as you can watching these shows and teaching yourself and reading cookbooks and all that, and what your mum or nana or family taught you over however many years, and you had to go up and step up and learn how to become a professional or at that level of MasterChef. And you watch that development of these guys who were basically rookies and go up, and by the end of the season, when you get to that last episode, these guys are just smashing out just ridiculous things. And I think it's that journey where you take them basically from zero to hero. And I think that's the best part about MasterChef and why it's done so well in Australia. You take in the underdogs and the guys that have got no chance, would never get look in at a restaurant, probably wouldn't even get an apprenticeship offer. And by the end of it, they end up either starting their own business as a chef or opening their own restaurant or doing cookbooks or whatever they've done, and a lot of them have done really, really well, and it's a credit to them. That's why they get that. That's why that MasterChef title means to them. So I'm happy with what they're doing, and I can understand why they're doing it and what they're doing, but the fact that they put that up there and said, yeah, they can now win it and get the name, they need to get rid of that, and I'll be happy with it. I'm not going to watch it. That's the only thing I have the problem with. The new judges, they're old contestants. You already know them. It's like watching, I don't know. Yeah, it just doesn't have that same thing. But anyway, that's my opinion on that one. Now, I did get an email late tonight or just before I come on air, and DJI sent us an email. There's a new something coming on the April 27th at 9:30 Eastern EDT, which I'm assuming that's Eastern American time. So be aware of that. 27th of April, lock that in if you're a drone guy. That's going to be big. From the shape, I'll put it on you would have seen on the thumbnail the shape of it. You will see it pretty much looks like a Phantom 4, the body with the stems coming up for like the propellers. And it's got that curved dome. It pretty much looks exactly like a Phantom, but it's got these LED lights in it and all that, so it looks pretty funky. We could be seeing a brand new Phantom 4 in about 12 days, so that's some exciting news to prep. If you have been looking for getting a drone or upgrading a drone, hold your horses, go over, you can register to get sign up your email, so you'll get all the thing and get first in to check it out and to see if this one, I don't know if it's going to be a pro level or a consumer level or what it's going to be, but you can be sure if it's DJI, it's going to be, if it's a Phantom, it's going to be a couple of $1,000 easy. if not more, and it's going to be a pretty tricky bit of kit. So it's got to be, maybe we get their first 6 or 8K drone. There you go, I'll chuck that in there. 8K drone, 40 to 50 minute flight time. That's about pretty much all I can get, and some sort of better stabilization or gimbal setup. So I'm sort of picking, that's what it's going to be if they're going to go up, or what they've got. You look at the Phantom 4s now, they've got some, they're incredible. They're 30 minutes and they're 4K, great footage, 1-inch sensors. They either raise the sensor up and so you can put a bigger camera, or have their own cameras with a bigger, maybe a 2-inch or a full frame sensor. That would be pretty cool too. So I guess we can start guessing what could be, throw some rumors out there. Let's talk 1-inch let's talk a full frame sensor, 8K video, that'd be pretty cool. 50-minute flight time and 10K radius. Sounds fair, why not? Sure, they can whip that up in the next 12 days. Now, the other sad thing we do have is Virgin. I don't know, our flights to work are all Virgin, and I love Virgin, and they're really, really good. I've been flying them for a good 12, 13 years. I hate Qantas with a passion, absolute passion, cannot stand them, hate the company. They're up there with Telstra as my most hated companies. I will not fly Qantas, no matter what. I absolutely hate the company. I've been on multiple flights where I've been just treated like a piece of shit. The customer service is crap. They're just a bunch of deadbeats. And yeah, very anti-Qantas as much as I'm Telstra, but I have no choice with Telstra. It's all you can get because they own everything. The government give them all the hard copies, all the hardware. So yeah, Virgin going on a trading halt. They're $5 billion in debt. They asked for $1.9 billion. They reckon, Treasurer said probably not going to get it. They do have 5 overseas operators as the major shareholders. They're pretty much all airlines, and they're pretty much all going broke as well at the same time. So it does not look good. It's going to be really interesting to see how this plays out. Other concern is I do have a lot of points, and I use those points from work to travel, to go and visit family, friends. If we're going to go anywhere, I was going to use them when we do their move to Queensland after we sold the house and all that stuff. Now I've got them sitting there. Not only is that, you've got those 10,000 people going to lose their jobs. Then if they get bought out, you have to restart it, retrain. It's all going to flip over into maybe an Air New Zealand or whatever. It's going to be pretty interesting to see what happens here and see what the Australian government's going to do to assist them. I think they've done a pretty good job. They haven't made a profit somehow. I don't know how they haven't made a profit with the prices of airlines in the last few years. That's a bit concerning, so they need to probably do something in those regards and get some sort of a model where they can actually make some money to pay this debt back. Because dropping another $2 billion on an airline that hasn't made a profit in 10 years is not a real good business model for anyone. So I can understand the government side of view, but yeah, it's going to be really bad because I just really don't want to go anywhere near Qantas. Wow, that'd be really, 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 really bad. Really bad. But anyway, tough life, isn't it? But you get that. Got to drive Land Cruisers and Toyotas at work, and I hate Toyotas, so we get those problems in our life. There's worse things to be worried about. Russia has punched up in the COVID stakes. They're up to like 21,000. 60% of that's in the last 3 days. That's huge. New York's, which was flatlining, the figures have inflated a little bit. There are some other countries now coming on board that are a little bit of concern there. We're getting some of the second tier countries and not well-known countries that are now starting to get hit. I did notice on one of the things, it was France, they had like 15,000 deaths, so they've been hit pretty hard by it. It's a lot happening, and Australia, we seem to be a little bit flat, so yeah, it'd be interesting to see how we go and what our next step is, and where we go from here, whether those regional lockdowns may decrease a little bit in the next couple of weeks. That would be nice. So I guess even though we're not working, if we're stuck at home, at least maybe we can go for a drive and do something. There's only so much you can do in a small town, that's like within the area. We've actually gone to the same place over and over and over. Again, tough problems there's probably people doing a hell of a lot worse. It'd be like to just be able to walk. So yeah, another day. Anyway, that's Wednesday night. We will see you all tomorrow, Thursday. Don't forget that competition is on till next Monday. You've got to go over. You've got to put a comment on our what's in my newer gear bag video 2020, talking about all my gear and what I use and my new gear bag. Just got to go over, comment on that, subscribe as well, to make sure you subscribe to the channel so I can see you and I've got you in there to put you in the draw. Other than that, have a fantastic evening, what's left of it, and a great morning tomorrow, and I'll see you all, should be back to normal time tomorrow afternoon. Righto guys, have a great night. If you're going that way, or that way, see you soon. Ciao.